it on? I think it is. Okay. Click here, click there, click here, click there. Okay. What's better? Okay. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We're gonna have a gossip today, if you don't mind. If y'all don't mind. Okay. How's it going? Now, I ain't been in Gossip Town is near Petty Town, yes. I'm the mayor of Petty Town. I have a house in Gossip Town. You gotta keep your ear to the ground, you know. I haven't lived in a place where it snowed, like heavily snowed, in a while. So hopefully y'all all right out there. Not buried under feet of it. Hi, Janet. Hi, Nancy. What is this? Start a Q&A. Start a poll. Oh, ain't that cute? I'll take it. Okay. So here's where we're going to start. There's a comedian by the name of Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones is, hi Gigi, is, what's the words? What's the words? So what she said was that it's hard for her to find a man because she has to find one that can bring out the feminine in her, because she is big and tall and loud and sometimes aggressive. She a mess, but she got some responses to her basically saying, where the masculine men at in all of this. And the most of the responses were, you can't find a masculine man because you too much like a masculine man. And men do not want to be in a relationship with the woman who is not feminine. You are too loud, you're too aggressive, this, that, and the third. And that's not what a masculine man wants. He doesn't want to be in a relationship and have to tussle and tuggle back and forth for the masculine spot in his relationship. This happened too to Jill Scott, the singer. She said that if she gets with the man that she is able to walk all over, she will walk all over him. And that is not a thing that some men want, to get into a relationship and have to be the one to tame you. And so that's not some people's role. Now, there are men who, I guess, possess that ability to say, woman, sit down and hush or something. I don't. But she is looking for a relationship, and that is her issue at the moment. She said, I'm rich, I'm successful. Why wouldn't somebody want to be with somebody like me? And she was on that clip when she said, somebody said, what do you bring to the table? She said, I am the table. And so that is a turn off for some men, or the type of man she's looking for. Now, she can find a person that she could walk all over, just like Jill Scott said, but that ain't what she's looking for. She's looking for, Paw Paw, who had control over his whole house type of thing. She's looking for that kind of guy. So that might be that, I don't know, that might be a bit too, because Leslie Jones does look like a lot. And somebody is perfect for her, and she got to find that somebody. But right now, because here's the thing too, you have to also understand, she's a comedian, she's a celebrity, she goes out there and her persona stands before her because that's how she gets her audience, and so forth and so forth. But there are times when you meet people who bring out another side of you, like someone who doesn't really talk a lot because they like to be by themselves or whatever. And then you find that one person that just gets you to chat. If you're not, always multifaceted like I am, I talk to anybody about anything. I don't know nothing about cars, but you sit me next to a person talking about cars, I bet you I'll bring something up. So there is an aspect of her that can be brought out by a particular person. Will she find it? That's what we're going to ask. So here we go. She is looking for that one to bring out the feminine in Leslie Jones. Yes, she can fight. She's rich. She's successful. And listen, some masculine men aren't trying to date Mike Tyson. Okay, they don't need you to be out here fighting. So will she find the one she's looking for? Broadly speaking, we don't need a timetable. She ain't our friend or nothing. Will she find that one? That one she is looking for. Will she find it? Oh, Leslie Jones. Ooh, on the bottom. Well, I just seen a clip of her. Coincidentally, I guess there is no coincidence. There is a clip of her when she was on some show. I don't know what show she was on because I don't watch TV. But she said that at 23 years old, Oprah Winfrey got fired. And when you're in your 20s, and she said Vera Wang didn't design nothing until she was 40 and something else and something else. She's basically saying that some people bloom after failure or bloom later on in life. And she said what the best thing was for 23-year-old Oprah to get fired because she wasn't Oprah yet. She was just some 23-year-old trying to find her way in life. And now look at her. And so maybe she just ain't there yet. There's a timetable for everything in the Wheel of Fortune. So you're not there yet. Maybe Leslie has to find what Leslie wants in life. Chase your wants. And then when it gives you what you need, it'll fall in the right spot at the right time. First card is the Eight of Pentacles. This is the card of details. This is the card of work. They say you can have it all, just not at the same time. So maybe right now it's time to focus, because that's what this card also means, is focus. It is time to focus on what is positive and not what you're missing. It is time to focus on, I have a fantastic career, I have my health, I have my this, I have my that. Gain all your stuff. That way, when you add a person on top of it, it's like a cherry on the top of the thing instead of it trying to be the whole thing. So, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is not family. It's the happy family card, but happy family is sometimes created. So this can be your happy workplace. This can be your happy friendship circle or something of that nature. So focus on building the harmony. Focus on building the life that you want, not the one that's been dealt to you. Because the 10 of Cups is a harmony, but it's a harmony created. You have to take all of the pieces and put them together. The 10 of Cups starts with the Ace of Cups. That's an offer of a friendship or a relationship, not a family. Family is more your 10 of Pentacles. That's your family tree. You're born into it whether you want to or not. Wheel of Fortune, the card of fate and time and destiny. Just wait. Life is going to be giving you everything you want right now. You're rich and successful and you blah, 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 blah. Just wait. King of Cups. There's some divinity there. The Hermit. Or maybe, bear this in mind too, Miss Leslie Jones. Bear this in mind too. There are some people who are supposed to be by themselves. Now, the problem is she's looking for a relationship. So it's a little teensy sliver of sadness, but at the same time, you'll be all right. Like there's placements in your chart that tell you will have trouble finding relationships and things of that nature. This is also your astrology chart too. But there's some searching. Maybe who you are when you are loud and aggressive and like to fight needs some healing first. Because is that who you are, or is that who you are now because you are trying to protect little Leslie on the inside? Because sometimes that's a defense mechanism and not your personality. I'm just saying. Wait. Assess. Do the work. Focus. Do the work and focus. You may not get this anytime soon. The Queen of Swords is the single one in the tarot. She's had relationships. She's had a past. It didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. She experienced the worst of the worst when it comes to the opposite sex. But she is wiser for it. King of Wands. That's the ruler of your own destiny there. That the King of Wands is the person of action. It's also a card of regeneration, which means why this is ending in the Six of Cups. You may not find anyone who is your true love ever. Because the person on the inside is the person you have to love first. And there's something in there, Miss Leslie Jones, that is being protected by the outside. So will you find love? Sure. Will you find it anytime soon? No. True love. But do you need it? I mean, find out who you are first. Go on the inside. Okay, next person. Whoopi Goldberg. This was said in passing, but at the same time, there's a reason behind, or there's a story behind. Whoopi Goldberg been famous since 1432. She has been in every movie. I think she invented the camera. She was in an interview and said the words, "I can't retire yet." Again, she's been famous since 1319 and she can't retire yet. Why? Now, there could be a couple of things going on here. First of all, just because you see a person on TV does not make them rich. Just because you see wait a minute. Where's my telephone? Give me this. Give me this. Let me show you something. It ain't none of your business, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Because look here. Because some greasy neck heifer did the same thing to me before too. Let me tell you. Wait a minute. One moment. Let's see. Ted Cruz wants to run for president again. Okay, let's click that one. Boom. Clicked. Video performance. Click. Revenue. I said revenue. Click. Because let me tell you something. Hi, Jeff. Let me tell you something. She's been famous since 1219, and this heifer here says she can't retire. She's been in every movie in the world. Now, that don't mean they paid you fairly. Remember when she had a conversation with Monique, and Monique went and said on her little podcast the other day, well, not the other day, but way back in the day, that she can't believe how much Whoopi Goldberg makes at The View. She said it was almost embarrassing. She felt bad for her. Now, mind you, I sit and talk for a living too, but I bet she makes more than I do. Now, Whoopi Goldberg said these words here. She went and bought a house in Italy. And she said she had to borrow the dough. That's her words. Because she didn't have it. But she turned to the audience. She said she didn't have it. She got a lot of family. Now, she also brought out that her partner, called Tom, that's how she refers to him, told her, you can't just be having these houses all over the place and not living in them. That came out her mouth, mind you. She said that. But she wanted a place in the world where she could go and have complete peace and silence, and people know when she's here to leave her alone. Now, mind you, Whoopi Goldberg hate to fly. Whoopi Goldberg hate to fly, and she bought a house in Italy. She's not swimming to Italy. She gets there. She'll endure the flight. She hates to fly, but she will. She take a little something and she go to sleep the whole time. But she says she can't retire. She had to buy a house in Italy, which she had to borrow the money from a friend. Whoopi Goldberg been famous since 420 AD, and you still telling me that she had to borrow money to buy a house. Maybe you don't need this house since you ain't got the house money. So my question is she bad with money? Is it her family? Because she says she got a lot of family. She's been famous since God and Light, so I'm just trying to say. But here's the thing, I want to show you this here, because like I said, some greasy head nephew did the same thing to me and said, you got plenty of money. Because we were in a chat, mind you, this is a long time ago. We was in a chat, and because she didn't like us. It was me and Jen and somebody else. We was all having the chat in the person's chat, and she didn't like us and said that we had plenty of money and that we should have super chatted whoever it was we was in the chat with. And she based, I guess, the plenty money part on the fact that we are on screen. But I want to show you something. I made a video on YouTube. I did. I made a bunch of them. And I want to show you how much YouTube paid me for that video. You ready for this? Since that video has been posted, I made $3.58. Now, I ain't complaining about it because I was doing YouTube for free. So all I'm saying is, don't assume. And so that's the same thing that I'm saying with Whoopi Goldberg's. Yes, she has made tons of movies. She has probably made tons of money. Money don't last forever. She's been famous since she was in her early 20s, I think, something like that. And mind you, well, given her look and her ability, she's famous on a certain level, but that don't mean you paid like Tom Cruise and Will Smith, which is a whole nother thing. So, what's going on, Whoopi Goldberg? What's draining your money, honey? What happened? What happened was Whoopi Goldberg, where your money at here? Okay, where's the lover's card? What had happened was the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Now, mind you, one of her problems back in the day was, as she said, buying too many houses. She had a lot of places all over the world, planet, country. She had a bus. She didn't live in none of these places. Now, mind you, she was lucrative back then. Also comes from the fact that, because mind you too, she sells all kinds of things. She wrote a book. She got sweaters and dog treats and all these different types of things, or dog sweaters, whatever it is. But it's still not that thing that makes her a Bill Gates. Is she rich? Yes. Is she wealthy? It's another thing. She got money like new Hollywood money. She ain't got money like old Hollywood money. She got an old Hollywood name, though. She can pull some money from places if she needed to. The Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. She does things without much logic and reason, which is why she needs, because this is in the warning, which is why she needs a business partner in the first place. Should she have bought a house in Italy? No. You can find a happy place in the bathroom. You don't have to go find a happy place on the other side of the world. I get it, though, because she can walk outside. Ain't no paparazzi, because that you can't hide Whoopi Goldberg. You know, she has a very distinctive look. Nobody looks like that in all of Hollywood. But she wants to go, and I get it. You want to walk outside, ain't nobody bothering you. You want to go into places, ain't nobody bothering you. I get it. But you can find that here. The Chariot and the Eight of Wands. Her problem is a mixture. Her money goes out too fast. I don't have a family card here to say it's just her family that is draining her. I think she just makes bad decisions. Yeah, she's a great grandma now. I think she just makes bad decisions. And listen, there are people in this world, because it's in my chart, mind you, that says you will have trouble. This is like almost in the same house. You will have trouble with resources and relationships, which is why sometimes you need to be by yourself so you don't spend no money on nobody but yourself. But she'll be all right. She can't retire because I think she just makes bad decisions. But it's her money, so you do what you want to do. Because when you leave here, you ain't gonna get a chance to spend not out or the quarter. So you better spend them all right now. And she's not broke, for the record. She just can't retire, she said. Because I sit here and talk and I make $3.58. She sit there and talk and she make $3 million a year. So if not more, right? Well, speaking of money, though, okay, y'all heard about this child. What's the child name? Twinny Todd. Twinny, what's the child name? Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. That's the child name. Y'all heard this child here? Okay, so she was the one that was in the American Eagle ad for the jeans and the carry-on. I seen the ad finally, because I don't care nothing about Tweeny Sweeney. What's her name? Sydney. What's her name? Sydney Sweeney. I don't care nothing about this child, but I finally seen the ad because people were in an uproar and she's MAGA and blah blah blah. Okay, fine, whatever. She ain't the only one that's MAGA, so whatever. What turns out she's not really MAGA, I guess. So here's the story that I have gathered thus far. Reason why she's on this list here. Sydney Sweeney. Is her name Sydney Sweeney? Yes, it's Sydney Sweeney. She was doing the ad talking about jeans, GENES, and how you pass them down. You get them from your mom and your daddy, and they give them to their children. And she was pulling her pants up and buttoning them while she was laying down on like this chase lounge type of thing. Had no shirt on, had a jean jacket covering her boobage part right here, so you can see her navels and all this carrying on. She's supposed to be sexy in the fight. And so she was talking about how blue eyes and blonde hair are good genes, basically. Well, she said, I have good genes. Mine are blue. And then the voiceover said, Sydney Todd, what's the child name? Sydney Sweeney has got good genes. And so people called out the eugenics part of it, to where you think you have good genes because you have blonde hair and blue eyes. Listen, you can like yourself if you got blonde hair and blue eyes. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Even though, go look it up. Ain't no such thing as blue eyes. They say there's eyes that lack melanin and they reflect blue light. But anyway, you're still special. Okay, you can like yourself if you got blonde hair and blue eyes. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And you can call yourself a person with good genes if you want to. However, the backlash started, and this whole "I'm pretty because I got blonde hair and blue eyes" thing come along. The master race and all that garbage start going into the conversation. Then she did a interview with this child. Some little girl did an interview with her, and was trying to soften everything up because Sydney Sweeney apparently is not a horrible person. So she was trying to soften it up for the child. So she gave Sydney a opportunity to address it. She said to the child, I'm paraphrasing, to the Sydney Sweeney, the little interviewer said to her, I'm paraphrasing, that things are getting out of hand in the media, basically. And do you want, or what are your comments or something like that on this whole thing about you being a person who hates, or an engine of hate, or the whole eugenics thing? She was trying to give her the box to stand in, to say, I'm not MAGA, I'm not hateful, I didn't say my genes were superior, this, that, and the other. She was trying to give her the opportunity. She didn't call anything by name. She didn't say the word MAGA. She didn't say the word eugenics or nothing like that. But she was giving her the floor to go out and say what she wanted to say to clear the air. So Sydney Sweeney, in her non-professional PR skills, said that if there was something she wanted to address, she would bring it up. There should be something you want to. Didn't you just hear all this stuff people said about you? You won't say nothing. Okay. I mean, you ain't got to say anything. Your mouth, your words, your rules. I mean, did you? But everybody think you hateful and racist and a MAGA and a this and a that. And then to top it all off, MAGA got behind her and said, go Sydney Sweeney. They got behind her and say there need to be more people in Hollywood just like you. And she's like, I don't need to say nothing about nothing. And the interview girl was like, a little something, you don't want to say a little something? Okay, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's, your words, your mouth, your rules. But I'm just saying, you might want to say a little something. Bow your head and say a little something. But you don't want to. You don't have to. You don't want to, you don't have to. But here is the next problem. She made a movie called Americana that they spent $15 million. They spent a whole bunch of money on this movie called Americana. She was the lead actress in it. $15 million in the box office. Well, no, excuse me. $15 million is what they spent on it. What they got back was $1.5 million, not 15, not 1.5, 1 point. A little bit over $1 million is what they got back for their $15 million investment into a Sydney Sweeney movie. They made another movie called Christie that made a whopping $500,000. It turns out MAGA likes you for your hate, but they ain't about to watch your movies. Because here's the problem. Once bitten, twice shy, right? So here's the problem. She's the lead actress in these two movies. When each movie that you put out, and mind you, both of those movies took place this year. They have released this year, 2025. She got one more coming. So everybody a little nervous because your last two movies underperformed grossly. $15 million is what we paid for this movie, and it made $1 million. The other one, I think, was $5 million, and it made $500,000. So you are not a box office draw at all, it would seem. Now, her next movie is called The Housemaid. She has been paid $7.5 million for this movie. So she all right. Okay. Don't go buy no house in Italy. She made $7.5 million for this movie called The Housemaid. How's it gonna do? How's the movie The Housemaid gonna do? Well, this flew out. The moon is a card of plots and schemes and dangers and treachery. Because here's the thing too. Because now she's playing cleanup. She said that she didn't feel it was necessary to clear anything up because, paraphrase, because she's not a hateful person. So she didn't want to give energy into the conversation that she was. She is against hate. She is against this. She is against that. She is against this. And so now she is coming out and saying, I am not. She didn't say I'm not MAGA, but she said, I am not a hateful person. Paraphrase. Because mind you, two movies grossly underperformed in 1 year. And you have a third one coming up and people are nervous. So I'm pretty sure you probably still didn't want to say nothing, but somebody was like, look here. I paid you $8 billion. You better get out there and say something. Something. Mama say, mama say, mama say. I don't care what you say, but you gonna get out there and you gonna say something. Because these people out here with social media's got you plastered all over the social medias. Now, mind you, the little girl who was talking to you gave you a chance to say something. And you didn't say nothing. Didn't say a word. You thought it, yeah, I don't need to say nothing. I ain't got to talk to these people. Okay. You don't. You really don't. You ain't got to talk to nobody you don't want to talk to. But they ain't got to come to your movie either. So let's see. Will The Housemaid be successful at the box office? Will The Housemaid? Now, mind you, she made her money. $7 million. You don't know how to live on $7 million and you ain't doing it right. But let's see. Well, probably 4.3 after taxes. Will it be successful? Okay, well, that's a nice little sign. The Ace of Cups. First two cards, the Six of Wands and the Magician. It depends on what you would define as success. The Six of Wands is a victory. It's a victory after a struggle. And the Magician is the skill, power, and talent. The Magician is also the actor. This is the talented person, I should say it that way. They will be successful. because they already been paid. The King of Cups, the Alts, the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Cups. Somebody's going to regret their investments. They're not going to get back what they put in, but there is the potential for growth with the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress. So not the worst. So if they spent 15 million on this one, they can make, 10 to 15 back at least. But it's not something that hits the ground right out the gate. It's something that has to grow. So this may be something where by the end of the year, you get your money back. The Strength card is telling you to endure. It's also saying there needs to be another strategy too, because the Six of Wands is a victory, but you have to strategize to get there, because the card before it is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a conflict. The Seven of Wands is after the Six of Wands, which puts you on a higher ground where you can defend that victory. And so it's something that grows. It doesn't go right out of the gate, but you do need a strategy to make this work. A different PR thing, because I know you have to go and promote the movie, yes, but the person you're sending out there to promote has been labeled an agent of hate, and so you need a different strategy. So maybe just talking about the movie in her press junkets is not exactly what you need to do. You need to clean that up first, or clean her up first, and then bring out the movie stuff. But I think this is also something you should have done a long time ago too, because trying to fit it all into 2 weeks is a lot. But you do you, boo. Good luck, Sydney Sweeney Todd, whatever her name is. Okay. I think she'll be all right. So Ric Flair is a wrestler of legend, sometimes bad legend, a serial harasser and drunkard, but he has said, and it has caused a bit of controversy, that Hulk Hogan died from street drugs. Now, if you didn't know, Hulk Hogan died some time ago, and his family is currently suing because they believe that the doctors gave him medicine that caused him to go into cardiac arrest and so forth and so forth. Because he was ill for some time, and his treatment is what caused his demise, is what his family is saying. Ric Flair came out and said he talked to Hulk Hogan, and the treatment is not what killed Hulk Hogan. The street drugs did. Which the family has come out and said, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't talk to my dad because one of the daughters is suing and all this. And he's mistaken. It was the treatment, not the street drugs. Which kind of puts their case in a bit of a interesting place. But Ric Flair has been known to say things that he shouldn't say or are not true completely. So, Hulk Hogan, was it the treatment, or was it the street drugs? Which was it? Which was it? Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords. This may indicate a treatment of some kind right there. Patients, as in hospital patients, not have patients. Three of Pentacles, collaborative effort. like a buildup, something you were given. This is like something you would be prescribed, though. The star is your physical well-being, your healing. So I think this is more of his treatment than it is the street drugs. I don't have the devil card just yet. Then there's judgment. That's how he passed. Something he was given. That's what I think. But, you know, I ain't Ric Flair, so I ain't. I apparently don't have the same information he does, but I'm going to say it was treatment and not the street drugs. But anyway. Okay, so hands up all those who sing The Wicked. I didn't, but apparently, rumor has it, there's a lot of talk. Everybody's saying it. That Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are having a relationship. Because they just seem very close. And apparently Cynthia Erivo is single now because she's no longer with Lena, what's the child name? Lena Dunham or whatever her name was. They have, by their own admission, because they were talking about it, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have 10 matching tattoos. Apparently, this is a thing that Ariana Grande does. When she's in a relationship with someone, she gets a matching tattoo with them. She did it with Pete Davidson and the other child before him. Now, here's the thing. Here's why people are bringing such a thing up. Because Cynthia Erivo at the time was not single. She is now, but she was not then. And some people think that Ariana Grande is also being controlled by Cynthia Erivo, but we won't go there. I just want to know, are they in a romantic relationship, not just besties? Is there a romance between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo? Is there a romance? High Priestess first card. What you hiding behind them pillows? What you hiding? What you hiding? Page of Swords. Gossip. They do need a sandwich. Oh my God. They should make like the biggest sandwich you ever seen and then put more bread on top. Lord have mercy. Like every time you talk and all your bones pop forward, I think you need something. Lord Jesus. Queen of Swords. 10 of Wands. Ace of Cups. 8 of Wands. Hermit. Moon. World. 10 of Swords. Right now, they are kind of cringy together. Right now, it's gossip. The High Priestess and the Page of Swords. But there's something there. I think more so on one part than it is the other. But there's something there. But I think the gossip mills have turned it into a thing that it's possibly not, to where Cynthia has this hold over Ariana, and Ariana is the innocent one, and so forth and so forth. And I just don't think so. She grown. She grown. But right now, I would say, based on this first two cards and the last card, 10 of Swords, that it's gossip. But there's something there. I don't know if I'd call it a relationship. But I bet you, because the Ace of Cups is an extension or extending a friendship or a relationship, you will see that one will be formed later on. Or one that it's going to be defined as a relationship is formed later on. Are they doing things together? Yes. Get matching tattoos. If you got a matching tattoo, I'd say you were friends. If you get 10 matching tattoos, girl. I wouldn't call it a friend. I don't know. 10? Yes. 10. They got one over here, one over there, 5 on the leg, one back there, one. 10? That's it though, Kathy. That's it right there. When you get on the movie set and you all up in this person's face for months and months and months, they develop a relationship. Look at Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie Pitt. They did the same thing. These people go and they get closer and closer and closer and then shatter their home life. You do you, though. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with me. I'm just saying. But Lena, what's the child name? Is it Lena Waits? Lena Dunham? Lena, what's the child name that Cynthia Erivo was in a relationship with? Now, mind you, Lena Dunham, whatever her name is, Lena, I'll just call her Lena. Lena Waits, is that her name? Anyway, Lena was in a relationship. Dumped this girl here for Cynthia Erivo. Kicked her to the curb. She wants to go date the new shiny star. And then the new shiny star went ordered the grande and then threw you back in the water. Karma, full circle. That's how you get them. That's how you lose them, man. Anyway, one more for the record. One more. I gotta be a little ounce of petty. Will Kim Kardashian ever pass the bar? Bless her heart. She apparently has low brain activity. Bless her heart. You know, because here's the thing. Here's what I always said. I didn't understand. I still really don't, because mind you, I don't really care. But you know, in the interest of gossip and entertainment, still, here's my thing. I never understood the hate of the Kardashian clan, because they have very suspicious behaviors. But nobody has ever said that they were mean to me. They were nasty to me. They cussed me out. They never had, like, the trainer hasn't come forth and said, Kim hit me with a water bottle. You know, you don't have these stories to where I could see why people would just hate them. I get they're famous from the sex tape, okay, but they have no talent, and okay, but hate them because of that, I don't know. There's more things to hate a person for, and I just didn't put that at the top of the list, is all I'm saying. But for those who missed this section of the Kim Kardashian hour, back when Donald Trump hijacked the presidency the first time, Kim Kardashian went and appealed to the Trump. Kim Kardashian apparently got the sentences overturned for two African American ladies. She advocated for them on their behalf. And those ladies were released from prison because of Kim Kardashian. She went and she advocated for them. Now, mind you, why you ain't do that since then, I don't understand. But, you know, looks like PR to me, but fine. At least you helped somebody here on this earth, right? I guess. I don't know. But she was standing there right next to the Orange and Chief, and she got the sentences overturned or pardons or whatever for these two black ladies. And so she got brownie points for that. So she has been trying to, I don't know if in earnest, but she has been trying to become a lawyer since then, I guess, because this is a passion of hers, along with hair clips and perfume and makeup, but multifaceted. You can be multifaceted, okay? So she has been trying to pass the bar, I assume, so she can go out and she can be an advocate. Here's the thing, though, Hunger. You were not a lawyer when you did it the first time. So why not just keep doing that? Now you can go get you a law degree. Go ahead. I mean, if you got the money and the time, why not? So will she ever pass the bar? No, here's the thing, too. I mean, talent is not singing and acting and dancing all by itself. To speak in front of a group of people is also a talent because everybody can't do it. To organize a meeting is also a talent because everybody can't do it. Some people are born right out the womb knowing how to cook anything in your kitchen. Some people can go to cooking school for 14 hours a day and still burn water. There are people who are just born with the set of skills that have to be labeled as talent too, because everybody can't do it. So what their skills may be, I don't know. I have not scanned the life of Kim Kardashian. But singing and acting and dancing are not the only things that need to be labeled talent. But anyhow, will you pass the bar? I personally think it's all publicity, but that's just because if you advocated for these two African American ladies, why you ain't do it again and again and again and again? You had the ear of, unfortunately, the most powerful person on earth. And that's all you did. I mean, again, but ain't nobody else you could have got out of jail. You know, I just saw the other day, because this is something that if I had Kardashian money, I would address myself. There's a man who was in family court. CPS is trying to take his kids away from him because his kids live in a truck with him. He said he makes sure they're fed and they're clean and they still go to school every day. He said his wife just died of cancer and it took everything he had, and now he has nothing but his kids in his truck. And CPS was trying to take the kids, and the judge was like, ma'am, we're not taking them kids from him. They go to school, they fed, they with their father. Where is the Kim Kardashians of the world, and the Oprahs and the Elons and where's the people at? It would mean absolutely nothing to your bottom line to get that man out of that truck and put him somewhere he could live. Somewhere else he can live. To where CPS is not threatening to take his kids from him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, if you want to go be an advocate and impress me, getting somebody out of jail ain't it. Go help somebody that has nothing, since you got everything, is all I'm saying. But you ain't got to because it's yours. Go buy your house in Italy next to Whoopi Goldberg. There you go. There you go, right there. It's all for you. Boom. Take it and have it. Will she pass the bar? The fool. And listen. Listen, child, listen here. You can do anything you set your mind to. The fool is a card of potential. Because he's on a journey. Anything and everything can happen. And the reason that people think he's nuts is because he started on a journey, and that's all he has. Is that little pack right there. He's like, whatever comes up, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's not a strategy. It's a hope for the best. The thing, though, with the fool is the magician follows it, which means anything and everything that you could possibly do, you can do. You just have to have a strategy about doing it. If you want to pass the bar, go to a real law school, learn from people. You are a person of resource. You can have a person come to your house every single day and teach you every single thing there is to know about what you need to know to pass the bar. But you need to do that. You can't just Google what does a tort mean and then go try to take a test. Seven of Cups, low brain activity. Listen, girl, you could do it. You can't do it like this, to where you throwing it to the wind and you just gonna see what happens. You have to strategize, you have to study jazz, and you got to get a tutor of jazz. You have to figure this thing out. You can do it. You can do it. But not like this. This here is low brain activity. This is low brain activity, because that's the madman and this is the confusion. And maybe, just maybe, because again, I don't think you got anybody out of jail. That's just me being cynical. But you could go and be a force for good elsewhere. But if criminal justice is your passion, multifaceted human, if that is your passion indeed, then why don't you put some work behind that passion? Now, I'm going to be judgmental for a second here. Is the reason you won't put some work behind that passion because you don't know how? Because you got a lipstick business and a perfume business and a Spanx business and a shoe business and a this kind of business. Do you even know the intricacies of those businesses, or do you just tell somebody else to go make me some money and slap my name on it? Because as a person of resource, Tyra Banks went to Harvard Business School. Now, she did not go to Harvard itself and go through some 4-year program. She went for a business thing. So she took a course or two. But you can do it. But you need a strategy to do it under. Thinking I'm Kim Kardashian, let me take the bar is not going to work. King of Pentacles, the card of resource, the card of plenty. The Ace of Wands, this is a new action and a new creation. The way you've been doing it in the past is not it, home girl. What did I say? There's the Magician. You have the potential to do anything and everything. You put your mind to it because you have the resource to do so. You have to have the know-how, though. You can't just be hoping and wishing. You have to do. Will you pass the bar? No. Go find something else to do. The Hermit does the Hermit does not mean no. Go find something else to do. The Hermit says why, and it wants you to fill in the blank. Because this is soul searching. This is searching within. This is investigating on the outside as well. But why is it you haven't passed? Why is it that you feel you can't pass? Why is it all that type of stuff? Why? Why haven't you passed? Mind you, the bar is the thing that eats up sometimes the best of lawyers. So, no big deal that you didn't pass it. But why? Are you trying? Did you try? Study? Did you get a tutor? Did you this and that and other thing? And then what that would say to you, if the answer is no, I didn't get a tutor, no, I didn't study very hard, no, I didn't do this, no, I didn't do that, then you have to then ask yourself, why do you want this so bad? Because all of the answers to what's going on out here lie within here, but something within here is not recognizing what's going on out here. Because maybe Kim Kardashian does not want to be a lawyer. Maybe Kim Kardashian wants to be respected. Just throwing it out there. Maybe she wants a different image. Maybe she wants a set of knowledge that she doesn't have already. Maybe some whatever. Maybe it's Maybelline. But whatever it is, has nothing to do really with you trying to be an advocate for social justice in the criminal justice system. There's something in you that wants this out here, but there's something in you that does not know how. That's where you need some guidance. Maybe you need she has a psychic. And they told her she was going to pass. JenLynTarot.com, Kim Kardashian. Maybe that'll help you. I don't know, but that's all I got. That's all I got. I think she could do it eventually. But I think, too, she may need to recognize why she's trying to do something she can't do. Because maybe that ain't for you. Maybe that's not for, let me ask. One more. We'll do 2 cards. Should she even try to become, what was that? Jesus Christian. Should she, no, reading over. Should you even try to become a lawyer? No, that's not where you should be. That's not what you should be doing. There's something around homelessness, possibly. especially right now with what they're calling food insecurities. Go do what Tyler Perry did. Go do what Shaquille O'Neal does all the time. They go into public places and they just stand around until someone needs help paying for something, and then they pay for it. There was some grocery store down in Georgia, and everybody that came through the line, Tyler Perry paid for all their stuff. Shaquille O'Neal does the same thing on a constant basis. He goes to restaurants and he leaves $5,000 tips and $10,000 tips and these type of things. Go be a blessing to somebody. You don't have to go to law school to do that. Not to say that she's not. But if you're looking for something to fulfill you, I don't think this is it. Okay. I'm getting out of here for sure this time. So thank y'all for coming out for Gossip Town. Hope you enjoyed your tour. Hope you enjoyed your stay. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here, as they say. So I will see y'all on Sunday, where we will have a gossip of another variety. Lord Jesus, Christian. Give her Hegseth a job. You think she could do worse than Anyway, I'll see y'all Sunday. How do you turn this off? I don't know how to turn this off. Okay, there it is. Bye-bye.